So hello everyone, welcome to the new day and new vlog. In some time, I have my first presentation and we have to present our seminar today. So we'll go to the building 32 where we have to give our presentation to the assigned room and then we'll try to share the experience as well. So let's go. As you can see, right in front of me is building 32. So let's go inside. So we'll see you after the presentation. As I said, this is one of the first presentation regarding my major, which is software engineering, and we have to present our topic. So this is the room where we have to give our presentation now. And here is our friend Muntasir with us. So our first seminar presentation is finally finished, and we have with us our beloved friends Muntasir and Shubhadeep.
Beloved.
Yeah. So how was your experience? And if we discuss about our experience in general.
That's true. So my experience was good. I
Yeah.
think as a personal, it's like too much adrenaline. When before the presentation, I was feeling very nervous.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I said my things. Now after coming back, I don't actually remember what I said. But based on my rehearsal, I think I said okay.
No, it was good.
Yeah.
And
So-
Shubhadeep, yours?
Well, it was equal parts excitement and nervousness for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was mostly excited because I haven't this is my first presentation after coming here.
Yeah.
So
And if I talk about some of the details, then at sharp 10, the presentation part got started. And we had with us our Professor Ligismeyer, and the supervisors. So I think Shubhadeep's supervisor, who was your supervisor?
Professor Nikita.
Nikita, and our supervisor Anil, and also Alexander. So the supervisors were there for their respective teams, and professor also joined. So I think at 10 o'clock it started.
Correct.
Right? And when they first came, they sat at the back.
Yes.
That was also quite
that's true.
interesting.
That's true.
And one of the team which was sitting behind, they told that you can go in front because we will sit in back and then we will listen to you and then we will try to evaluate the presentation as well. So talking about more of this experience.
Yeah, talking about that, for the bachelor team, it was told that they should present in 15 minutes. For us, it was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they also told, especially Anil told that if we cross the limit before 2 minutes, he will raise his hand
Yeah.
to indicate that we should finish it in
Yeah.
2-3 minutes.
And I think initial first two teams got 10 minutes.
Correct.
10 minutes each because they were individuals. They were single person in one team.
That's
Like Shubdeep was with his Sahana, and me and Muntasir were together.
That's
And also, like he said, Anil pointed this thing out as well, that I will raise my hand. So it's not like, suppose if you have to present for 20 minutes, then if not 16 or not 21, at 17 or 18, I'll raise my hand and then you'll get an idea that you have to conclude in the rest 2-3 minutes.
That's true.
And if we talk about Shubhadeep's experience now.
well, it was clearly a very exciting experience for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and mostly these guys are excited because I had memorized most of my
Yeah.
lines for
Yeah.
the presentation. And what advice that I would like to give for presentations of these kind is that often try to make definitions that
Yeah.
you have read after researching a lot of the research papers,
Yeah.
and try to make some definitions that you can make for your own.
Yeah.
That sounds very nice to the professors and
Yeah.
the people who are listening.
Correct.
And try to keep your eyes off the slides, as they really appreciate that when you're making eye contact.
Yeah, and since he mentioned this point, I think Professor also mentioned these points,
That's
right?
true. Professor also mentioned that you should not mention too many long sentences in your slide. Just keep it short, keep it in bullet point. Figures is always good, but while putting figures, also
Font
notice
size.
the font size as well.
Yeah, and also like they said that if you are reading from the slide, I can read faster than you. So it's good that if you just keep the bullet points and explain in your own words, because I think this is also a practice for our thesis,
Yes.
like our supervisor mentioned. So I think also one of the points, like for the very first presentation, Shubdeep asked a query.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for the very first presentation, it was for 10 minutes. So once the presentation is over, they can ask people to ask the queries. And also, I think for our presentation, Alexander asked the question.
Alexander asked, Nikita mentioned a point, and
Yeah.
Anil also asked.
Yeah, ask the question. And also, they give their feedback, like regarding this line, how was your presentation, and what you need to improve in your presentation. So I think we received the feedback right away after our presentation. One point I would like to ask each one of you, one by one. Muntasir, if you can tell that while preparing the presentation, what points we kept in mind, and for how many slides like we kept for the presentation.
For a 20-minute presentation, for us it was around 15, and I would say based on the slides I have seen for other teams, I believe 13 to 20 is almost same size slides on each of the team.
Yeah.
And in the presentation, I would suggest to keep bullet points, not long lines, just bullet points, short descriptions, and then you can explain the topic by yourself.
Correct. And also a flow chart.
That's true.
Yeah, like
And flowchart, and also actually do interact with the teams, do interact with the audience.
yeah.
So that's one of the key points as well.
Yeah, correct. And also, like as he said, like 15 slides we have to make, and we have to mail that to our supervisor beforehand, because our supervisor opened from his laptop only, and he was calling team one by one
Correct.
in the order. And if while making the presentation, if you want to highlight the points, how you made your presentation.
Yeah, so adding to what Muntasir said, I would like to mention is that if you know your content really well, try to get some examples or
Yeah.
make some definitions that you can
Yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, since you will be reading so many research papers, you should be able to, and that really helps. That really sells your presentation to
yeah.
the audience.
Yeah, correct. So we have to start, like we have to, like for presentation, we have introduction, methodology, we kept slides for conclusion, future work. One of the point we also received was to mention references. Like one of the supervisors highlighted this point, that you can keep references as well for the research papers that you are mentioning there, and try to keep it crisp and explain by yourself or in your own language. After that, we received the feedback as well. I think for Shubhadeep, I can say he memorized, bro.
That's
so
true.
good.
Like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He is well rehearsed. So that's another crucial point. Do
Yeah.
rehearse it.
Yeah.
Rehearse it properly. Rehearse it multiple
Practice
times.
makes perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
actually no other saying. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So for Shubhadeep, for his presentation, it was a lot of theory, but as he
memorized
He was
good.
quite well. So actually, he presented the topic in a good way.
In his
It's
own
not-
words.
Yeah, it's not like he's just reading it
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
explaining. It's like kind of
Yeah,
interaction. So I think that's a good point.
yeah. And also Muntasir, when he was explaining this thing, we know that at one point we switched our roles.
That's true,
Like
that's true.
I think Muntasir had to explain conclusion, so I explained conclusion in the flow, and then Muntasir automatically
Switched to
got this
future,
switched to
next
future.
slide.
So he's very spontaneous guy.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually a little bit of confused that whether you will finish it the full slide or you will
Yeah.
just finish it in the middle, or should I say the next slide. But like we communicated in between and
Yeah.
we managed it.
Yeah,
That's good
so,
to know, because being spontaneous is also required when you're giving
Yeah,
presentation.
so I think Muntasir also had this very good presentation skill, and he explained in good tone and like maintaining the
yeah.
pace. And I think we also received this feedback. Like I think sometimes we need to reduce the pace as well. Like I think for our team it was
It was a before time.
before time. So
before
so what we received the feedback was, if you're explaining some sentences, even if you're explaining in your own language, try to keep the pace in a nominal manner, so that every sentence is clear to the audience. You can try that, and then they can get the idea what you want to say, even if you want to keep the bullet points. So I think like he said, doing practice and keeping that time thing in mind will also help. And you can ask your supervisors about the feedback as well. Like one of the feedback that I also received was regarding the intonation. So the intonation can also be improved, and I think that can be worked upon. And I think it's good, you get to know on which areas you can improve. But it was a good experience, I think, from all of us, and this was our first technical presentation, our first presentation in our software engineering department, our major software engineering. And what are your final thoughts, guys?
My final thought is I'm good. I'm more confident now.
Yeah.
We have another presentation, and
Yeah.
finally we have we have defense. So I think good. Everything's
Yeah,
going good.
so I think this is a good experience. And Shubhadeep, yours?
Mainly, I'm very much prepared for my thesis.
Yeah,
Actually, this
yeah.
makes me confident that I can present my thesis and
Yeah.
defend it very
No,
well.
no, I'm also confident that we all can do. So that
all
is
can
good.
do.
We all can do, and we all will try to do. But it's a good experience. You get to see the projector. One more point before ending. You get a button. You understand?
Yeah, I understand that they actually give us the button. We are confused as whether we will show it in our laptop, whether in their laptop. They will give us the controller or not.
Yeah.
But actually, they kept their laptop and they gave us the controller,
Yeah.
which has two buttons like forward, backward, and a pointer as well, laser pointer.
Yeah.
So those are actually the kind of intuition thing.
Yeah. So when I received that, like for our team, I got that pointer. So we thought that we'll use the laptop
Yes, true.
to go use it. And while explaining some of the tables, we use the hand, because to
That's true.
handle the laser.
Because we were not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Luckily, we are prepared that he will only continue the presentation by PowerPoint. I will just explain
Yeah.
the topics.
So we-
then actually it was okay.
Yeah, so we prepared the sequence that when I'll proceed, because we use some fading effects. So I'll just highlight, and when you will proceed, I'll move further. One more point, I also like to mention to Muntasir as well that when I was presenting, Anil, who is our supervisor, I think he's also very supportive of very good nature. He indicated me like this that use the button. So in middle of the presentation, okay, then I started using the button. Okay, there is this motion because I was using the laptop. So I think that was also good feedback. So these all points I think can be improved, and you receive this feedback to work on yourself. So that's it for our seminar presentation. Thank you guys for telling your experience as well, and everyone has done a superb job from their side. That's it. Rest like, comment, share, subscribe. It doesn't take much time. Bye bye. Ciao ciao. Namaste.
Assalamualaikum.
Ciao.
Chalo. See you in new day, new vlog.